Alright, joining me for my pretty decent £32 Carboot haul. So basically everything you will see in front of you cost me, I think it was just shy, 10 pence shy of 32 quid. We'll start off first of all with the thing that I got for free. So this is the Burger King mask toy. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, for a Burger King toy, I mean, it's fully articulated, 5 points of articulation, and then has crazy pop and action. Which, I mean, look at that, man. For free, you cannot fall off. I mean, this was one of the last things I picked up, and the guy was just like, I'm leaving, you can have a type of style. So I'll just leave him there. Well, I kind of just give you a bit of a feel of this kind of car boot. It was one of those ones where you came away thinking, my God, everybody was really miserable. I mean, it was like a nice, glorious, sunny day. And, I mean, there must be, I'm going to assume, somewhere in the region of around 200 cars at this car boot, if not more. But, I mean, I didn't count them, but there's hundreds. And kind of going in, people were just wanting ridiculous money for absolute rubbish. I mean, there was one guy, about sort of, say, I think I must have went past 40 cars before I even bought anything. This guy had like some Star Wars stuff and a vintage Boba Fett, and it was literally like the paint was scraped off it. Like a kid had just played with this for from getting it till this guy got hold of it, battered to death. And I was like, oh, how much are the figures? And he was like, oh, this one, Boba Fett, 5 quid. And I was just like, I kind of just grabbed my kids and was just like, this guy's clearly insane. I mean, I wouldn't have even paid £1 for it. I would have paid 10 pence for it. I just thought, £5, you're having, I just couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. Anyway, you're not here for that type of story. You're here for the bargains. So, there was a fair few glumps and stuff, but people were wanting, again, silly money, like £1 and £2 for glumps and Moshi Monster figures and stuff. And I was like, nah, I mean, I am trying to build the world's largest glump army. But I'm not paying through the nose for it. I was paying like 2 blind bags of this series for £1 in the pound shop. So I'm not paying more than that for a second-hand one. These were 10 pence each, so I was like, yes, I will pick up and buy glumps at 10 pence each all day long. This came from a person who had like loads of random weird toys that I didn't really want, and they wanted something like 4 for £1, so I just picked this out and give them 20 pence, and they were like, yeah, fine. I do like to army build the little mini dinosaurs from the Jurassic Park line, as you may well know. Came across a lady who had a big bucket thing, and it had like loads of like track, but it was like wasn't actually a set of anything. It was just random weird bits of things. And I had pretty decent rummage through it, and I was like, 2 quid. Do I want to take that off for 2 quid? It was huge. I thought, nah, that's me car boot over right there, carrying all that home. So I seen that they had this Brio stationing, and the kids loved the train tracks and stuff. So I thought, well, that's a nice bit of Brio train track stuff. That's not bad. And there's another bit of Brio train track that's in there as well with the lights and stuff. And this excellent big jigs kind of lift and bridge set thing. I mean, these things, even by themselves, you're probably talking out of thought around about 15 quid at least each type of style. So I was like, well, you've got the whole thing priced up at 2 quid, love. How about I just tap these few bits out? You can still sell the rest for 2 quid. And I'll give you 50 pence for them. So 50 pence for the 3 of those. Like, absolute bargain. What, like less than 15 pence each? I mean, flipping heck. You pay more for that. For wood you'd burn. so that was 50 pence. And then the rest of these figures now that I'll show you were 50 pence. So I've got this bag of trash packs for 50 pence. The woman's like, do you know what they are? I was like, well, the trash packs, aren't they? She's like, aye. There you go, 50 pence, thank you very much. I think they've all got one in bar, I think 1 or 2, but for 50 pence, I don't mind picking them up for that. This Power Ranger White Ninja Zord, not Zord, Ninja Ranger, Ninja Ranger, wow, 50p, not bad I suppose, he's not the best nick. We've got this, the 9th Doctor. Now, I don't have this version of him. I do have the straight-legged version, not the kind of action-y posed version. So, again, 50 pence for him. Pretty chuffed for that. This Transformer here. I believe he's called Sideswipe, is it? He's the one with the blades and stuff. Like, I'll cut you. I'll ride along the road and I'll cut your tires in two. Because that's the like things that I like to do. And the final thing that I got for 50p was this guy from Lord of the Rings. Now, is this King Azilga? I want the martyrs in me bag. Lord of the Ring figures are definitely worth picking up for 50p. Yeah, he's gone out with them, but it's the one I didn't have, so I'm quite happy to get him for that kind of money. So, the next woman I went to, she had like a random box of toys. Nothing really that I wanted out of it. Had a bit of a rummage through. How much do you want for these, love? And this was the Carboot where, like, normally you go to people's stall and they're like 2 quid, 10p, 50p, you know. But this one was like, how much do you want? And you could just see them kind of going like, looking at you, and then just coming up with a number out the top of their head. Like, 30p each. Like, righto. So kind of rummaged through. Did find the Biker Scout, which I was like, brilliant Biker Scout. He's battered like, but you know, for 30p, I was like, I'll have him for 30p. Struggled to find anything else. Got this guy. The kids were messed about him while we were going on the car boot, so kept him nice and quiet. It was ruly feasts. This thing, which I think is possibly Ben 10, but didn't realise it's got flipping legs missing. And one of these Transformer Cheetah mini hero thing. So I picked them 4 up and I'll give her a quid, and she was like, oh, you owe us money, don't you? I'm thinking, how are you a pet? Like, it's a flipping car boot. Like, they're battered. They're not, I don't even want them. This one's kind of broken, which I didn't realise at the time, which I would have just flung it back and then said, you owe me money. And I just went, right, oh, and she's like, oh, it doesn't matter. I thought, flipping heck, you know what I mean? Like, you're selling rubbish and you're wanting flipping 30p for them. You're off your tree, pet. Anyway, so that's that. This next thing I paid £1 for. This was a bit of a clanger, like. So we got Santa Claus. I mean, how can you not buy a large ice cream tub with all, I mean, look at this. I mean, this has been customly decorated with sellotape. And inside of here is just absolutely loads of it. The best stuff I've kind of pulled to the top. So you've got a Rainbow Bright with a couple of its mates. This Michelangelo kind of wine bottle stopper, I'm going to assume. But it's absolutely jam-packed with Kinder Egg toys. And like, what I would class as 80s Kinder Egg toys, I guess. So it's kind of not as good as it sounds. There's some okay stuff in there. I paid £1 for it, kind of thinking, what the hell, you know. I mean, I just opened it up and they're like, quid for the lot. I was like, get on then. I'll take a punt. You never know. Sometimes you buy these things and there's some absolutely amazing bits and pieces inside. Somebody was selling some Star Wars figures. They had these two and a couple of the ones that I already had. They wanted £1 each. I give them £1.50 for these two, so 75p for, again, a couple of little army builders. That's kind of my kind of money. Somebody was selling some DS games. I asked how much they wanted. They said £1 each. I said, okay, I'll take them. So, I mean, games at car boots, man. People are wanting like £8 for Mega Drive games and things, and just like stupid money, like almost like they've got it in their heads now that like, oh, anything vintage and it's worth loads of money. And it's like, yeah, if it's in good condition, and it's like the one thing that's worth the money. But the other stuff, all of the millions of other things that are worth nothing, and you're wanting premium, they do come with the games and obviously the manuals, and they are in really, really nice condition. They did have a couple more games there, which I kind of maybe should have bought, but anyway, quite happy with the Mosher one. Give the kids something to play on the DS when I find it. Now, these next two were £2 bargain deal things that I got. I'm not overly happy with them, to be fair. This one went over and they just had these 3 figures. And the one I already wanted was this guy who is from the VR Troopers. And he's like a proper like weird cone-headed Darth Vader kind of Cylon looking thing. So I thought he looked pretty cool. And they were like £1 each type of style. And I was like, well, will you take a quid for the 3 of them? Because I didn't particularly really want this guy. I've already got him, although I don't think mine has the antlers. And this guy. And she's like picking them up and like, oh, well, you know. I think these are from the early 90s, you know, they're vintage, they're rare and stuff. And I was like, all right. And she's like, oh, and apparently this one, somebody told me, if it's still in its packet, it's worth about £35. I just sort of turned around and said, Beetlebug stuff? I'm pretty sure nobody's really after that, are they? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the market might be taken right off, and I don't even know about it. Why would I? I don't collect Beetlebug stuff. Clearly do, because I bought it. But like for this one, which has kind of been quite played with and kind of not in the best condition, how can you compare that to £35? So in the end, we agreed on £2 for the three of them. Had I known this guy's thumb was missing, I probably would have just took that guy for £1 and just walked away. But anyway, like I say, it was a really odd car boot. And this one, £2 for these. I'm off my trolley. Lost the plot with this one, like, but raking through, and I had this monster in my pocket which I didn't have, so I thought, well, that's what I need. Pick them up. This Snap, Crackle and Pop pen topper. Again, I don't have this one, and I do absolutely love these guys, so picked that up. This robot, which I had no idea what it was, but it's quite well articulated, and kind of figured it's that kind of quirky, you don't really see it very often, grab a hold of it. A muscle man, but he's really kind of gummy, so I'm going to assume he's kind of a KO type of thing, I don't know. A glow-in-the-dark from Scooby-Doo, flipping zombie. And Saracen from the UK Gladiators. And I was like expecting them to be like dirt cheap and stuff, and they had like a lot more different things in there, but she was like, oh, they're 50p each, and I was thinking, oh, Christ woman, what you doing, man? Like, the box of them was worth £2. Like, I would have said, like, you know, look, I'll give you £3 for the lot type of thing. But like I say, people just they weren't wanting to sell the stuff. I mean, unbelievable. Right, so and then that was £2 for them. This next lot was £2. Although some of it was just like, oh, take this, take this, take this. So it's like, I'm knocking that back, like. So I've got this Sandman from the Superhero Squad. We got this Transforming Flip-Up vintage style-esque Spider-Man trying to be a Transformer kind of thing, I guess. That's pretty much how it was written on the back of his packet. Yes. Got him. This Megazord, kind of, who's weirdly holding your sword in a very odd way, but apparently that's how it's supposed to hold it. Going out to the toy. 2 glow-in-the-dark Scooby-Doo figures. And Woody's hat. This is probably the premium, really hard one. And they had flipping Stinky Pete's hat too. Now, annoyingly, I was like, oh, do you have the doll that goes with this? No, we sold them earlier on. I was like, oh man, I want a Stinky Pete. So, they were like, we'll just take the hat type of thing. So I was like, alright, cool. At least I've got his hat now. So if I do find a Stinky Pete and he doesn't have a hat, I have a hat. And they also give the band this to play with around the car boot. And it's a game. Don't know how well you can pick it up. You can see my face. Hello. And as you can imagine, that was fun for everyone. So there's that. And right, now then. We're now onto the £2.50 lot. I'm going to have to rearrange this a bit because I've run out of space. How about we move? We'll just move it to one side. There we are. There we are. Grand Designs. I need space. Shift it. Right, so £2.50 now. Got Ben 10 see-through fella. Princess Leia in her Bosk outfit. A couple of James Bond Jr. figures. Those are in pretty decent condition. And Ellen from Jurassic Park, she's in absolutely superb condition. This weird little mini Kato Masters of the Universe little figure who's absolutely brilliant. Love him to death. A world's heavyweight title. I always pick them up when I see them going lying around. And this one, I do believe Jeff Solo's after this guy. I think he's been looking for him for a while, so I figured I'd pick him up for him. Just to kind of stick in his trade package for him. So I've got that guy too. So I've got all those for £2.50. thought was pretty decent. Kind of last kick of the match with this one. Guy was packed up, and I just sort of saw some figures in his box type of thing. So I was like, oh, can I check the figures out, mate? He's like, aye, get on then. So I got this Dick Tracy guy. Now, I kind of think, was this one, was he called Influence or something like that? Prune face. Again, he has his, they both have their holsters. There was a Lips Manalus there. I picked him up. I do already have Lips Manalus, but Lips Manalus had this on him, so I figured I'll just liberate them and take that for mine. This excellent knockoff Hulk Hogan Masters of the Universe style, Remco style thing. And the dog, which at first I thought was from The Mask, but it's from flipping, what's it called? Oliver and Friends, the dog with these moving sunglasses. I think that's possibly a Burger King toy or a McDonald's toy. So those were £2.50 for all of those. Then we're on to the £3 mark. This was one of the first things I bought. Woman had like some Ben 10 stuff. She was getting harassed by people trying to rip her off and stuff. So I think she was quite happy to see me, who was going to be a mug and buy stuff for more expensive. She wanted £1 for the Ben 10 figures. Picked this guy up because I don't have them. Basically every stall I went to after that had Ben 10 figures, which was kind of annoying. This, when you go to car boot sales, you see certain things. This figure I saw on on every person's stall. I paid £1 for it, but what the other stall didn't have that this one has is this. Well, it's back. So I'm happy to have paid £1 to have got the complete version. So kind of got ripped off on them, and then so she was like, £1 for the Ben 10 stuff, 50p for the other stuff. So those is Mighty Morphin. I believe it's Mystic Force, bad guy. Who has this thing on and it pops off. And then he has a little head inside. So I guess that's his two modes. Super duper mode and not so super duper mode. And the other thing was this, 50p for Transformers animated oil slick. He's missing his barrels, but for 50p, kind of figured I'd pick them up. So that was £3 for those figures. The other thing I got for £3 was another Furby. I'm being incredibly careful with it because I do not want to wake it up. It'll start making it going, oh, my breakfast. So that was £3. I did find a Furby in the charity shop the other day for £3, and my oldest absolutely thought it was the best thing in the world. Still kind of get over it. So I said, well, when we go to Carboot, we'll see if we can find another one for the youngest. We've seen this one, this exact same Furby, and I was like, oh, how much? £15. It's like, see you later then. Went round kind of near the end of the car boot, completely different stall, like 2 miles away, had this on. I was like, how much? £3. Get on then. Why not? And then the final thing, which was my biggest spend of the day, was on flipping Moshi Monsters of all things. Who'd have thought it? The guy had tins of Moshi Monsters, and he's like, I was like, how much are the tins of Moshi Monsters, mate? He's like, £2 a pop. So he's got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tins. So I was like, well, I'll give you £5 for the lot. And he's like, £6 for the lot. Deal. So in these ones, we have all of the mini Moshi Monsters, or micro, as it says on the tin. Use your eyes, man, pal. You're just not even looking at it. You're just knocking it up as you can along. We also have, these are like original ones in that one. Quite a few ultra rares in that. These are kind of Winter Wonderland. Did have a few like weird things in there, and other bits and pieces in that one. And this one is some glow-in-the-dark gold. This one, which is pretty cool, it's a yellow sparkles blingo, so it's pretty mad. Gold thingy-be-jiggy, a gold glump as well, so a few glumps in there, and I think amazing glump wise, they do like the Christmassy style ones, that's in there too. So there was like, what, 5 tins of the figures, and then, which I didn't realise, there was 2 full boxes of the flipping cards, absolutely jam-packed full of the cards. Now these cards were like £1 a pack, and I think you got something like 6 cards for £1, and I mean there's like fudging hundreds. 2 of these absolutely jam-packed full of cards. So, well chuffed with that, like £6 for all them. Like I say, in total, I think it comes to about 10p less than £32. And I got an absolute flipping gigantic amount of stuff. So definitely worth checking out your car boots for bargains and just, you know, stuff you didn't really think you wanted, but when you see it for cheap, you'll buy it. Thanks for watching, guys. Do stay tuned for more car boot hauls. I don't think I'll be going back anytime soon. And, you know, whatever else I find. And I'm kind of going to, when I get my loft sorted, I'm going to start lifting down some of the mock stuff I've got, because I've literally got quite a few mock toys going now. So I'm going to start lifting them off and start ripping them back out of the packets again like I did the other year. Thoroughly enjoyed doing that, so I'm going to get back into doing that again. And that, so have a nice night, have a nice breakfast, and I'll see you in a bit. Ta-da!